Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of Bitcoin transactions. Have you ever wondered how a Bitcoin payment actually works? Well, you're in the right place. At its core, a Bitcoin transaction is the process of transferring ownership of Bitcoin from one user to another. Now, this might seem straightforward, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Let's break it down step by step. The private key is the cornerstone of Bitcoin security. It's a long string of alphanumeric characters that's generated by the wallet software. It's crucial to keep this key secure and never share it with anyone. Think of it as the key to your digital vault. When the sender wants to make a transaction, their wallet software uses their private key to digitally sign the transaction. This is a critical step in the process, as it proves to the network that the sender has the authority to spend the Bitcoin. The digital signature is like a unique fingerprint that corresponds to the private key. It ensures the integrity and authenticity of the transaction. This means that once a transaction is signed, it cannot be altered or tampered with. After the transaction is signed, it's then broadcasted to the Bitcoin network. This means that the information about the transaction is shared with other participants in the network, including miners. It's important to note that the public key, which is like the recipient's account number, plays a crucial role in this process. It allows the network to verify that the transaction is being sent to the correct address. By combining the private and public keys, Bitcoin transactions ensure both security and transparency. It's this cryptographic dance that underpins the entire Bitcoin ecosystem, providing a level of trust and security unmatched by traditional systems. Once the transaction is signed, it needs to be broadcasted to the Bitcoin network. This is done through nodes, which are computers that validate and relay transactions. Nodes are essentially the backbone of the Bitcoin network. They're distributed all over the world, and they form the infrastructure that keeps the network secure and operational. These nodes maintain a copy of the entire Bitcoin blockchain, which is a record of all transactions ever made. When a user initiates a transaction, their wallet software sends it to one or more nodes in the network. These nodes act as messengers, passing the transaction along to other nodes in the network. This process of broadcasting ensures that the information about the transaction spreads across the network, reaching multiple nodes in a matter of seconds. This redundancy is a key feature of Bitcoin's resilience and security. As the transaction spreads through the network, it's picked up by miners, who play a crucial role in validating and confirming transactions. Miners are specialized nodes that compete to add a new block to the blockchain. When miners receive a new transaction, they perform a series of checks to ensure it's valid. This includes verifying the digital signature to confirm that the sender has the authority to make the transaction. Now, miners collect a group of transactions, known as a block, and compete to solve a complex mathematical puzzle. The first miner to solve it gets to add the block to the blockchain. This process of adding a block to the blockchain is often referred to as mining. It's a competitive process, and miners use powerful computers to perform millions of calculations per second to solve the puzzle. The puzzle that miners are trying to solve involves finding a specific number, known as a nonce, that, when combined with the block's data and hashed, produces a result with a certain number of leading zeros. This cryptographic puzzle is intentionally difficult and requires significant computational power to solve. This ensures that the process is competitive and that miners can't easily manipulate the system. Once a miner successfully solves the puzzle, they broadcast their solution to the network, along with the transactions in their block. Other nodes quickly verify the solution, and if it's correct, the block is added to the blockchain. This act of adding a block to the blockchain is how new Bitcoins are created and awarded to the miner as a block reward. It's also how transaction fees are collected by the miner for including transactions in the block. Once a block is added to the blockchain, the transactions within it are considered confirmed. This means they're now part of the immutable record of all Bitcoin transactions, providing a high level of security and trust. And there you have it. That's a simplified walkthrough of how a Bitcoin transaction works. It involves digital signatures, network propagation, and the critical role of miners. Remember, this process happens thousands of times a day, creating a secure and decentralized system of transferring value. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. Until next time, happy transacting.